Hello, everyone. How fabulous. We are all here together. I'm Lori Lacombe. I'm honored to be the Healthy Schools Coordinator in this amazing district. And I am here today to introduce an amazing student. Very lucky to be in this position right now. And as Mr. H said, we're here all to serve our 68,000 students. And this amazing student's from Rocky Heights Middle School. So let's give them a really warm welcome to Kendall Mybus.
The Douglas County voters approved for $5 million to go towards mental health support and prevention programs for students in Douglas County School District. This allowed every elementary school to have a counselor and for high schools to have additional counselors. This resulted in a total of 80 new counselors hired in the district for the 2019 to 2020 school year. Dr. Tucker shared in June at the school board meeting that the mission of DCSD is to provide an educational foundation that allows each student to reach his or her individual potential. He then shared that the vision of DCSD is to strive to maximize the potential of every student to pursue his or her chosen endeavor in society. This is accomplished through the district's strategic themes. The first theme is to have a positive and supportive culture. The second theme focuses on social emotional learning and supports for students. This is where you and I come into the picture. You are here to help students like me reach my potential and have a positive impact on society. Students like me need staff like you. You know us kids. You notice when something is off and we need an advocate. Sometimes it's the kitchen assistant or manager that notices someone like me sitting alone at the lunch table. Or the building engineer. Or the building engineer, bus driver, or school resource officer who notices that someone like me is a little off when we don't slightly smile back when greeted, or a teacher who notices that a kid like me is struggling in a subject we love. It's the educational assistant that sees a kid like me struggle with eye contact and patiently waits for our eyes to meet. It's the front office staff that sees a kid like me near tears needing an encouraging word and a smile. It's counselors, school psychologists, social workers, nurses, and administrators that encourage kids like me to become more than we dreamed. It's because staff like you encourage kids like me to reach our potential and have a positive impact on society. Hi, I'm Kendall Mybus, and I'm an 8th grader at Rocky Heights Middle School. I'm thankful the community I live in knows that mental health is important. I am grateful that the district has mental health and safety of kids like me as a #1 priority. My family is personally grateful to the district for the classes offered to staff and parents regarding mental health awareness. It was through the youth mental health first aid class taught by Mrs. Kelly Driver and Mr. Austin Mueller that my mom was taught that it was okay to ask difficult questions, which ended up saving the life of someone I love. Last year was a very rough year for me. My counselor, Mrs. Key, helped with my anxiety and encouraged me through some really tough months. Many of you probably recognize the Boy Scout uniform I am wearing. I am working on my Eagle Scout project. I want I wanted to do a project that helped kids like me who struggle with anxiety and depression. Mrs. Key let me borrow a calming jar last year. She showed me how to use it, and it helped me get away from my worried thoughts and focus on the world around me. I wanted to do a project that helped kids like me who struggle with anxiety and depression. Mrs. Key gave me an idea, and I wanted to create calming jars to help other kids like me. My goal is to make 300 calming jars. When I shared my project and the supplies I needed, my neighbors, family, friends, and complete strangers started donating. My parents had friends from high school who had sons who were Eagle Scouts send supplies from out of state. I would arrive home and find boxes of water addressed to me sitting on my porch. After a month of collecting supplies, drinking lots of water, and I mean lots of water, in organizing the supplies, I held the assembly portion of my project. On Friday, July 5th, 47 volunteers showed up to help assemble the calming jars. With over a month of preparing, collecting supplies, talking to people, and then assembling the bottles, I calculated that 302 hours and 15 minutes of time was volunteered by approximately 52 volunteers. We made a total of 940 calming jars. And that's a lot more than 300. Several jars have already been given to individuals in need, and many of the volunteers took one to give to someone that they love. On the calming jars, you will find a sticker. The sticker gives a simple reminder to students on how to use the jar. They are instructed to shake the jar and watch the contents. While watching the contents and breathing in and out slowly, they are to notice what they see, what they hear, what they smell, and how they feel. This technique helped me pull myself out of my worry brain and connect with the world around me. I was able to see that people around me loved and cared for me. I was able to hear the sounds of nature or others talking and laughing. I was able to smell life. I was able to feel that I would be okay. I'm still working on calming my brain, but I know this works. We also made 190 I Spy jars. These jars are filled with small objects hidden in plastic poly pellets. These jars would be helpful for students to get their minds off their worries, keep busy while waiting for their next task, or even waiting for a parent to pick them up. Mrs. Lisa Fugit, a district nurse, shared with me that a young student at one of her schools had fallen and skinned up their face and arms pretty severely. The student couldn't calm down and didn't want to be cleaned up. She quickly remembered the I Spy bottle that I had distributed and had the student start finding objects. The distracted student quickly calmed down and was able to receive the help that they needed. September is an important National Mental Health Awareness Month. Last week was the National Suicide Prevention Week. I'm grateful that the district is aware of how important mental health awareness is and that they provide opportunities for us to learn and talk about these tough topics and help each other. At times, we all feel broken and can't be fixed. My sister, who struggles with depression and anxiety, doesn't want to be fixed, but instead to have others and herself love all of her beautifully broken pieces. It is what makes us beautiful and unique. A favorite quote of hers is from Ernest Hemingway, who once said, quote, "We are all broken, that's how the light gets in," unquote. My hope is that the students in your care will be able to use these calming jars to find the calm part of their brain and to know and feel that everything will be okay. Thank you for helping and loving on us kids. Mrs. Lacombe, thank you for being the beneficiary representative of my project and for suggesting I share my story as the bottles have been distributed. I have grown a lot. I am doing hard things even though I struggle with anxiety. I will keep trying even if I fail. Mrs. Key, thank you for believing in me and for helping me last year and for giving me this idea to help others. This year will be much better knowing that I have you as my counselor and more importantly, my friend. Thank you.